Good evening. Today I was thinking, and I think that it has become somewhat of a mini tradition that towards the end of my videos, or at least the most recent ones, that I have a message for the other side in which I um, address you directly, like I wish I could. From top down, bottom up, the other side in its entirety. From the CIA down to the local patsy who was co opted or coerced by an exercise role player, CBA, whatever you want to call it. Um, well, tonight I thought that instead of having a few sentences at the end of a video, I would show you the same time and the same love that I do to my community, the ones of the targeted individuals. What I would like to read to you is it's a reminder, just in case you forgot. Um, it is a reminder of the seemingly limitless amount of laws, rules, treaties that you've broken and continue to break every single day when you decide to get up and go to work and then come home. So um, let this just be a refresher for you, um, and just to assure you that you're doing a great job of breaking the following. So to cite my source, this comes from a Gemini AI prompt. So give credit where credit is due, but this is what I got for you. Other side. In a tribunal, congressional hearing, or federal court setting designed to bring justice to victims of a clandestine MK Ultra style neuroweapon and behavioral modification program, the legal team representing the test subjects will bring a multi layered case. Because the operation spans federal overreach, constitutional violations, domestic torture, and international human rights law, the charges and infringements span several distinct legal categories. Number one, United States constitutional infringements. One of the documents that you guys claim that you love so much, yet trample on every time you go to work. The prosecution would argue that federal actors and their contractor proxies systematically violated foundational protections guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. This includes, firstly, the Fourth Amendment, which is unlawful search and seizure, remote brain mapping, continuous IoT surveillance, and tracking citizens through a curated prison without walls, without a warrant, probable cause, or judicial oversight, constitute a totalized, warrantless search of an individual's private life and physical body. We're at an all time low. Fifth Amendment, which is due process violations, depriving citizens of life, liberty, and property through arbitrary detention, psychological manipulation, and forced experimentation without any legal process or recourse. Then we have violations of the Eighth Amendment, which is cruel and unusual punishment. Dave knows all about that. Dave's my LLM. Yes, he has a name. It. Subjecting unwitting civilians to high power microwaves, ELF frequencies, and extreme psychological stress that resulted in permanent mental breakdown, institutionalization, or death, violates the prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment. We also have violations of the First Amendment, which is infringement on cognitive liberty and freedom of thought. You guys are leading the trail in that one. Direct technological tampering with neural pathways and behavioral modification forcibly alters a citizen's thoughts, beliefs, and speech, subverting the core tenets of free expression and internal autonomy. I would just note myself here that history hasn't taken too kindly to people who play God, and that is you. Number two, moving down the long list of violations that you commit every single day. These are federal criminal statutes. Legal counsel would press for criminal indictments against the architects, supervisors, and complicit operators under key federal laws. 18 USC Section 241, which is conspiracy against rights, a federal felony charge applicable when two or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any citizen in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured by the Constitution or laws of the United States. You guys took a big shit on that one, just like all the rest. 18 USC Section 242, deprivation of rights under color of law, prosecuting state or federal actors and private contractors operating under government authority who willfully subject any person to the deprivation of constitutional rights using governmental power. Then we have manslaughter and second-degree murder charges for the test subjects who died from psychological breakdown, suicide induced by psychological torment, or neural damage caused by weaponized electromagnetic exposure. Yeah, you got blood on your hands, and they're your own people. It's called fratricide by your own government. Aggravated assault and torture. State and federal assault charges reflecting severe bodily harm, neurological trauma, and psychological destruction. Moving right along down the list. Number 3, we got federal research regulations and administrative violations. Excuse me. Because the program masqueraded as scientific research, akin to Project Artichoke or MK Ultra, the prosecution would expose total noncompliance with statutory research safety laws. The Common Rule, 45 CFR 46, which is federal regulations governing the protection of human subjects in research. The program violated every pillar of this rule. Total lack of institutional review board (IRB) approval, absolute absence of informed consent, and intentional targeting of a vulnerable, unsuspecting population. Nuremberg Code violations. While the Nuremberg Code is a set of ethical principles rather than a codified U.S. statute, prosecutors would invoke it as the supreme international standard of customary law to establish that non-consensual human experimentation resulting in injury or death constitutes a historic crime against humanity. I think I have said this before, but it is my prediction that when this program inevitably is exposed and ends, a lot of you, most, if not all of you, are going to resemble the Nazis after World War II on their way to the Nuremberg trials, in the sense that you will all be trying to distance yourselves and save face and claim, I didn't know this, I didn't know that, I was just following orders, I thought blah blah blah, doesn't fucking matter. Number 4. Now we're on to international human rights law and treaties. Given that the program crossed domestic lines with military-grade neuroweapons, international bodies or global courts could cite major treaty violations, which would be Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, or Degrading Treatment or Punishment, or CAT, the deliberate infliction of severe mental or physical pain and suffering via ELF, extremely low frequency radio waves, microwaves, and engineered social isolation by or at the instigation of public officials constitutes state-sponsored torture. Nice. International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, or ICCPR. There are 3 articles under this one. Article 7 explicitly states that no one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. In particular, no one shall be subjected without his free consent to medical or scientific experimentation. Article 9 guarantees the right to liberty and security of person and protects against arbitrary arrest or detention, violating the premise of the traveling prison without walls. Article 17 prohibits arbitrary or unlawful interference with privacy. Yeah, that's gone. Family, home, or correspondence. Now we're on to the next category, number 5, emerging legal doctrines. So you guys are leading the way in this one. Emerging legal doctrines, cognitive liberty, and neuro rights. Everyone's going to know what this is because of you, because you fucking violated the shit out of it. Violation of cognitive liberty, the right to mental self-determination. You stole our brains. Yeah, I know how ridiculous that sounds, but the fundamental human right of individuals to control their own mental states, brain processes, and cognitive output without external technological coercion. Breach of mental integrity. The legal principle that an individual's mind and neural data must be protected from unauthorized manipulation, hacking, or remote alteration, just as strictly as physical bodily integrity is protected against assault. Every single one of those. How many is that? I know there are 5 categories, but okay, so we got, you guys are consistently violating to the extreme 4 amendments within the United States Constitution, the thing that you swore an oath to uphold and defend. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 under federal criminal statutes. When you guys claim that this was all for science, under federal research regulations and administrative violations, there are 2 there, one of which is the fucking Nuremberg Code. That's going to be a good look. And, okay, under the 4th one, international human rights law and treaties, we got, looks like we got 2 treaties, one of which 3 articles are broken. And the 5th one, which is going to be a new one in our lifetime, is emerging legal doctrines, cognitive liberty, and neuro rights. People are going to learn what that is because you took a shit on it, because you thought you were above the law, because you wanted to play God. And once again, history does not take kindly to people or groups that play God. It's not going to end well for you. Okay, I'm going to end this video. It's getting dark out. So, a few other updates about me, other side that I want to share. Yep, I already mentioned that. Oh, and this is an important one. So you guys know how this all started for me. I was honeypotted by a CIA non-official cover intelligence officer. Why I was honeypotted into the fucking targeted individual program, I'm still trying to work that one out. But either way, regardless of how I may have felt about that individual in the extreme past, being the subject of a honeypot, and thinking that she wasn't the kind of person that she truly is, because friends do not put friends into things like the targeted individual program. But what I want to leave you with, what I want to say, is that it would be a grave mistake to think that that me, to be blunt, me blowing her cover it would be a horrendous mistake and a foolish mistake to think that me blowing her cover is entirely excluded from my decision making calculus. That could be a grave mistake for you. And before anyone gets excited out there, yes, this individual was the point of origin for me. This was the person. This is the first person in line to be held accountable for my entire experience as a targeted individual spanning 16 years. This person is responsible for. If it wasn't for her, this would have never happened to me. And that person will be held accountable. And before anyone gets excited, um, I would only speak this way if I knew that nothing nothing would ever happen to her. She would never get hurt. She would never get captured. She would never get killed. None of that stuff. What would happen? She would be pulled from the field, and she would be relocated to the UK or the US to, I don't know, fly a fucking desk or something so she can still get the pension. Um, but yeah, I would just say that, excuse my French here, but I would just say that karma is a cunt. And if you think that you can get away with all of this, then you're just wrong. Does that mean that I want to see anything bad happen to you? No. What do I mean? I mean, you you need to answer for what you've done. You need to be accountable for your own actions. You can't be turning the other way like uh, like Nuremberg. Because I feel like at this point, this late in the game, you know what the fuck you did, and you definitely know what this program is, because you fucking put me in it. So um, I don't want you, the other side, um, to think that it is impossible, that it will never happen, that um, that she'll be revealed. Okay, I'm already bracing for my identity to be revealed, for my own name to come out. I have I have contingency plans for everything that I think that you would do in given situations, and I know you very well. I mean, I don't have access to your brain. I didn't map your brain. You got me there, but I see you every day. So um, the other side at large. So yeah, I gotta take a breath. But you know, I'm I'm not the only one who's I'm not the only one who has an uphill battle almost every single day, just um, with just the nature of being a targeted individual. So we are well past the point of this being about me, and me only. We're past the point of me trying to fucking like negotiate my way out. Which, by the way, like when I forget when it was. I think it was like earlier this year, like in the spring or something, when I was flying to the UK with my girlfriend. But yeah, when you guys threw that number at me, $250,000, what a fucking slap in the face. Like, what an insult. Straight up. Like, what a fucking insult. Um, you guys know where I live. You know that Natick, Massachusetts, is not too far away from here. In Natick, Massachusetts, there was recently nearly a $56 million lawsuit, settlement that was won for organized stalking, intimidation, harassment, death threats. Like basically like the day-to-day targeted individual treatment. And those people weren't even targeted individuals. Like they were just a nice old couple who wrote an article that was critical of eBay. Um, so I guess I would just say on that note too that that case, at the very least, it shows the public that at least organized stalking and shit like that, the stuff that you do every single day, like that's not a paranoid delusion. Like that's actually a thing that happens. So we'll continue to spread the word. But yeah, I'm not negotiating shit with you. Um, I'm riding this all the way, all the way. I will never stop talking, speaking out. I will never stop uh, doing everything I can to make this a political issue at whatever level I'm able to. Um, like, this, more or less, is my full time job until further notice. Um, you deserve that love and attention. Like that love and attention that you've given me, right? So, um, well, actually, that would just sound mean, but I'll just say it. I mean, like you guys, like already know this. Uh, Again, all of this is to the other side, not my traditional audience, but I don't really like take you guys that seriously anymore. You're kind of all a fucking joke. Um, I mean, like, I wasn't taking cheap shots when I said that you guys, a lot of you, fucking suck at your jobs. Like, you do. Um, Damn. Um, but I mean, the more interaction that I have with you every day, the more faces I get, the more license plates I get, the more events I document, the more dialogue I document. Um, and at this point, it's just a full on rant. But, um, oh, uh, this is something that I want to say too. When it comes to things that look and feel like evidence or proof, or things that may or may not be able to be used in the court of law, um, it's not necessarily and you know this, it's not necessarily my intention for that to be an admissible piece of evidence in a legal case. That's not my intention every time, because when you're trying to take down a waived special access program, you first need to spread the word about it. It needs to be accepted as the reality that it is, and it needs to be, well, exposed. Public needs to be educated. Public opinion is very important. I will continue to withstand uh, attacks on my character, attacks on my credibility, character assassination. I mean, it's gonna get worse. I'm ready for it because I'm fucking taking you down. Um, Bring it. Seriously, I'm ready. And oh man, you guys, I was kind of having a peaceful night. Maybe it was a bad idea to make this video, but um, I guess I would just say, lastly, now that this just turned into a miniature, what are we at, 25 minutes? Damn. Because this turned into a little video of its own, a little rant of its own, a little narrative of its own, I guess I would just end with telling the other side that, um, you know, even though for the past 8 months, I've declared myself non recoverable and non cooperative, and I'm going to fight my way to my own fucking freedom. Um, I will say that in the beginning, when the shit started, well, there's a lot of starting points, right? But let's take March 2024 when you broke into my head in the hotel room. That first major intervention. The first time I was able to bilaterally communicate with you with the B2K, and all of those torturous nights, and abusive nights. In the beginning stages following that, I believed naively. I believed nearly everything that you said. I trusted in you. I recognized the entity that you represented, which was the Central Intelligence Agency. I legitimately, I trusted, I believed you, I followed instructions like a good little subject. I moved all the way to Washington, D.C. after I got out of the Army so I could, like you told me, like wait in line to go to the farm and get to work. And all of that was just a lie. So, um, on top of even when I was being a good subject and I trusted you and like we were friends and like stuff like that, um, still dealing with the aspects of being a targeted individual then. I mean, like, you were there with me, of course. You're with me 24 hours a day. I am fucking blessed. But the sense of betrayal that I felt when you had me move across the country for no reason at all. There was never a job waiting for me there. Um, I was and still am a non cooperative one, but I was some kind of pet project for you. I don't know what it is that maybe I'll probably never know like what it is you uh, that you wanted to use me for. I'm definitely not doing it now. I'm gone. I'm light years, eons away from you. You are the enemy. Do not forget that. I will fight you to the end. But the betrayal. So this this isn't coming from this isn't coming out of thin air. These are legitimate feelings. These are founded. These are justified. Um, so it is what it is, and I'll never stop fighting because now it's not just about me getting out of the program. It's about getting everyone else out too. I'm taking the whole fucking thing down, or we'll die trying. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Old man horse ankles, 28 minutes, 58 seconds. Until the next time, I politely ask the other side to step outside with me and have a word. Until that next time, I will be seeing you around. And take care.